Sometimes the loudest part of an argument happens after the room gets quiet. It is 6:58 in the evening, and one plate has just been set down a little too hard on the dinner table. Nobody is yelling now. The food is getting cold, the yellow kitchen light makes the silence feel visible, and you are washing the same glass longer than it takes to wash a glass. So why does the argument keep going inside you, even after the words have stopped? What you may be facing is the hard, private part of forgiving yourself after a conflict. In this video, I'll walk through why that part can feel so heavy, and how to see it with a little more honesty and less punishment. Forgiving yourself is not pretending the argument did not matter. It is the slow moment when you begin to separate what happened from the harsh meaning you attach to yourself afterward. One common reason is that an argument can make you feel like the worst version of yourself was the only real one. Maybe you said something colder than you meant, or your face showed more anger than your words did. Afterward, your mind may replay one sentence and treat it like proof of your whole character, even if the rest of your life shows care, effort, and restraint. So you stand at the sink, scrubbing a clean cup, not because of the cup, but because stopping would mean feeling the full weight of what just happened. It can feel easier to stay busy than to meet yourself in that quiet. Sometimes, it comes from the way love makes conflict feel more dangerous. When the person across from you matters, every sharp word seems to carry a bigger meaning. A disagreement about tone, timing, or who did what can suddenly feel like a question about whether you are safe with each other, whether you are seen, or whether something has shifted. So when the fork hits the plate too loudly, or the chair moves back a little too fast, your mind may turn those tiny sounds into evidence. It is not only the argument that hurts. It is the story your mind starts building around it. There's also a quieter reason. Forgiving yourself may feel like letting yourself off too easily. Some people believe that if they stop feeling guilty, they are no longer taking responsibility. So they keep the guilt active. They review the moment, soften their voice in memory, rewrite the sentence, imagine saying it better, then punish themselves for not saying it that way the first time. Maybe you stay in the kitchen and let the food go cold because part of you thinks discomfort is the fair price for making someone else feel hurt. But guilt can sit in the room without being the only way you prove you care. It is the difference between remorse and self-erasing. Remorse says, "That hurt, and I can look at it." Self-erasing says, "Because that hurt, I am not allowed to be gentle with myself." Those can sound similar in your head, especially right after an argument. But they lead to different places. One keeps you available to understand what happened. The other makes you disappear behind shame, silence, or over-apologizing. Picture the scene for a moment. It is still 6:58, maybe 7:04 now, but the room feels like time has slowed down. You are at the sink with one hand under warm water, turning a glass in small circles while the other person stays at the table. The plate is there. The rice or pasta or vegetables are cooling. The silverware keeps making little sounds that seem much louder than usual. You want to turn around, but you also do not want to see their face yet. You feel hurt, but also ashamed of how your hurt came out. Maybe you are thinking, "I made it worse," and right after that, "No, they made it worse, and then, why am I like this?" If you've been there, you're not strange. You might know someone who lives like this. This is what self-forgiveness can look like before it has words. It looks like washing a glass too long because the kitchen feels easier than the conversation. And there is something else here that is easy to miss. Often, the hardest part is not admitting what happened. It is admitting that the moment meant something to you. Maybe the argument touched a place where you already felt unseen. Maybe being misunderstood at dinner felt like every other time you tried to keep the peace and still became the problem. Maybe the plate was not just a plate. Maybe it was the sound of being tired of holding the room together. That does not make every reaction harmless. It just makes the reaction more understandable. Many arguments are not only about the sentence that was spoken. They are about the meaning underneath it. "You never listen" may mean, "I feel alone in this." "Fine, do whatever" may mean, "I do not know how to ask again without feeling small." "I'm done talking" may mean, "I am scared of what I will say if I stay." When you only judge the surface, self-forgiveness can seem impossible. When you look at the meaning underneath, the moment becomes more human. A small place to begin is with the exact sentence that keeps replaying. Not the whole fight. Not the full history. Just the one part your mind keeps holding up like a receipt. You might ask, quietly, "What did I do?" And then, "What was I feeling when I did it?" The answer can be simple. "I set the plate down hard because I felt dismissed." Or, "I went silent because I felt cornered." This does not erase the impact. It gives the moment a shape you can actually hold. Another gentle place is the space between apology and self-punishment. An apology can be honest without turning into a performance of suffering. You might say, "I did not like how I spoke earlier. I was hurt, and it came out sharp. That kind of sentence does not make you smaller. It keeps the focus on what happened, not on proving that you are a terrible person. Sometimes the cleanest repair begins when you stop arguing with your own worth and speak from the actual moment. There may also be a pause that matters. Not the cold kind of pause that punishes someone. A warm pause. The kind where the glass gets placed on the drying rack, the water turns off, and you allow one breath before walking back into the room. In that pause, you are not making the whole argument disappear. You are only giving yourself enough room to return as a person, not a verdict. Because after conflict, the mind often wants a final answer. Who was wrong? Who started it? Who gets to feel hurt? Who gets to be forgiven? But real life is often messier than that. Two people can both feel wounded. One person can say something unfair and still have a real feeling underneath. Someone can love peace and still slam a plate down too hard. Someone can care deeply and still avoid the conversation for a while. This is for people who can keep the house quiet while feeling loud inside. Forgiving yourself after an argument may not arrive like relief. Sometimes it arrives as a softer sentence. I do not like what happened, but I can look at it without turning myself into only that moment. That is a quieter kind of honesty. Not clean. Not perfect. Just human enough to begin again from the kitchen, the cold plate, the glass finally set down.